my distinguished colleagues of the dais, organizers of PackPlus Conclave, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very profound privilege for me to get an opportunity to talk to this august gathering. Well, Professor, these two words have been going around last almost a decade in our country, and no conference is complete without two words like GDP and sustainability. Now, unfortunately, GDP is floundering throughout the world, and somehow our country is also following the suit, but sustainability has to remain there, and I'm sure about it. Now, when we talk about sustainability, there are so many definitions. It has also become like a Hindu way of defining things. But one of the things, not exactly the definition, but one of the thoughts which really touched my heart a couple of years ago about the sustainability. It was not about sustainability, but I correlated it with the great master Michael Jackson when he passed away. I think it was 2009. And then there was when his last night was to be performed, and he had one of his very profound friends. Her name was Queenie Latifah. She made a comment about Michael Jackson that Mike was a man of passion and he was a man of compassion. Somehow this sentence touched my heart. I said, all development is passion, but to sustain that development vis-a-vis our Mother Earth is sustainability. This is the way I think, I look upon it. And but going about a legalized definition last 3 decades, that sustainable development is meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. This has become virtually an official definition of sustainability by the Norwegian Prime Minister Harlem Brundtland in 1980, and by and large the focus has been on this. To substantiate it is another very wise saying, I don't know who has said this, that we have not inherited this Mother Earth from our forefathers, but we have taken it as borrowed it from our future generation. So we have to give them back, not with simple interest, but with compound interest. So now, sustainability, when we talk about, one of the key things to sustainability is the conservation. And conservation of materials, water, and energy. These are the 3 major things which we need to conserve when we talk about sustainability. If this thing of handing over this Mother Earth to our children in the same shape. Now, and in this I must tell you, Indian plastic industry is taking the lead. And Indian plastic industry cannot do anything unless our end users, our people like Glaxo, GSK and Cadbury's are there, unless they have. I will just give you just 3 case studies, and I must compliment 2 persons who are there. One is from GSK, Mr. Singh, Mr. Sani, and Mr. Samir Mandle, with whom we have worked together. It's a very down-to-earth approach, but when we see the results, the ramifications of the conservation of resources has been huge. The first case study is the glass replacement. And I have taken some help from Professor Anup Ghosh, who did a lot of calculations for some other thing which we have extrapolated here. A typical Horlicks bottle weighing 1 kg. Now this was traditionally being packed in a glass bottle weighing 750 grams. So I remember in the year 2006, around that time, we had a colleague working in GSK, his name is Shriman Banerjee. Now he has shifted to US, I believe. Yeah. So he came to me that we are having a lot of pressure from our principals that, and we want to make some change. So we said, what can we do? He said, you have a grade of polypropylene which is clear, which is glass-like clear, which has got moisture, because Horlicks is a very this prone product, it is hygroscopic, highly hygroscopic product, and why don't we? I said, I don't know. So the story began. I had Mr. Udit Seth here also, so he's there. So we approached them that, look, we have a glass bottle weighing 750 grams, can we replace it with a polypropylene clear transparent bottle? The story began there. We, JSK, 4 stakeholders, Pearl Polymers, and the machinery manufacturer ASP International, we worked virtually in a collaboration and devised a bottle of 72 grams. Am I right with it? 72 grams bottle, replacing a 750 grams bottle to sale, and then there was no looking back. Then we approached Mr. Mendley, sir, GSK has done it. I like Bournvita more than Horlicks because it is more chocolatey. So help us, sir. He said, okay, fine. So we went in. And then I got a call from Heinz with the Complan. So what we call these health drinks. So these 3 health drinks have given a lot of help to my down-to-earth, lowest density polymer, polypropylene, replacing traditional material like glass. And today I can tell you the consumption of 0.9 density material is 15,000 tons per annum. And now if you multiply it by the factor 10, if it was in the traditional material, it would have been just 10 times that. It would have been 150,000 tons. Sir, this is sustainability. This is conservation of resources. This is the small data, how much energy saving when we, and very important thing is the fuel saving and the water consumption, which has considerably been replaced. So this was a small step towards the conservation of resources, and a lot of things are following after that. This is one case study. Second case study is, there are 85 dairies in India making this very interesting product, what we call flavored milk. And the number of bottles used every year is 45 crores, 450 million bottles are being used every year. And they are traditionally glass bottles. Why glass bottles? Because the shelf life of this product inside pack has to be 6 months, 180 days minimum. 180 days minimum. Now how to achieve in a thing like milk, which has a shelf life of not more than 8 hours at ambient temperature, this is retorted at 120 degrees centigrade for 20 minutes. And then it can have a shelf life of 6 months. So we took a challenge. I remember Mr. B.M. Vyas, who was that time chairman of GCMM Amul. He said, why don't you, I was making a presentation to him on some other things like this GSK thing and other thing. He said, we have this product, why don't you help us in this? I said, sir, it will be a privilege if you help us. So we devised a bottle, the traditional glass bottle weighing 150 grams to add 200 ml of milk, flavored milk, has been replaced by a PPISBM bottle weighing 13 grams. So 45 crore bottles weighing 150 grams has a potential. Of course, only few dairies have, because they have to make some changes, hardware changes into the equipment, has been replaced by 13 grams. So we imagine the conservation of resources by replacement in terms of energy, in terms of fuel transportation, and in terms of water consumption. This is second case study. Third, recently we have replaced this Glucon-D bottle, which is also the same thing. But one case, lastly, I will take just 2 minutes, which is really revolutionized the concept of packaging in this country. Very silently, red colored bags become very popular in the red state of West Bengal. Now the story is as follows, that potatoes are grown in the country for 3 months and it is consumed for 12 months. And India is the second largest producer of potatoes. 29 million tons of potatoes are being produced in this country. And for 9 months, they have to be stored under cold storage at a temperature ranging from 2 degrees to 4 degrees centigrade. And they are traditionally being kept in the jute bags, and jute being a biodegradable product, one virtue of the biodegradability is that the bottom layer of the potatoes, if you see, because of the moisture and the biodegradability and the feedstock provided by the potatoes, it is always raw. So we took a small packaging, what we call a lino bag. It's a typical weave. You can see these bags. Now, what is the catch here? Potatoes, if they are stored at high temperature, they sprout and they get rotten beyond 14 degrees centigrade for a longer time. But at the same time, if they are stored at lower temperature, say 2 to 4 degrees, the sweetening of the potatoes takes place, and only except when Gujarati friends, nobody would like to have the sweet potatoes. So what happens, there is a company called United Phosphorus. They developed a chemical, not for sustainability purpose, but for their business purpose. You make a spray on the surface of these potatoes stored in a bag, and though you can store them at 14 degrees centigrade for whatever time you want. So this is sustainability. Now you imagine the quantity of power sold from 2 degrees to 14 degrees, the problem of sweetening is eliminated, the problem of sprouting is eliminated, but you cannot do it in a traditional material called jute because it's a water emulsion. The jute will absorb it. It is only the perforated, hydrophilic, non-biodegradable, all the negative attributes of the plastics which helps in conserving this commodity of 29 million tons. A sort of a revolution has come in this country. It's very silent revolution. 90% of the potatoes are now being sold, and the lead has been taken by West Bengal, which is the jute producing state, because most of about 30% of the, I also didn't know, 30% of the potatoes are being grown into this way. So these are just 3 case studies vis-a-vis packaging which I wanted to discuss and have your viewpoint on this, that how plastics very silently with an inherent advantage or disadvantage of non-biodegradability is helping the environment and the sustainability. Thank you very much.